over 55 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by the Georgia Farm Bureau in association with Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College.
Hey there and welcome. Ray DeLessio, Jennifer Parson with you for our first new show of 2026. Last week we dished out the best of YouTube 2025, but that is all in the past. Now we are moving on, bringing you a fresh outlook and a list of news stories, including some real gems.
That's right. And this, by the way, year number 60 for the show. So yes, 6 decades of the Farm Monitor. As for today's show, no doubt 2025 tested Georgia farmers in a big way. Now the focus shifts to 2026, with careful planning becoming more important than ever. From working the land to writing the laws that protect it, how one Georgia farmer is making a difference at the state capitol.
Plus, they say young people don't want to farm anymore. But these two 20-somethings from Floyd County are proving that's just not true. Year 60 of the Farm Monitor starts right now, which, by the way, is still older than me. Thank you very much. Well, the new year brings a time for reflection and hope for the future, and there will be plenty of both for producers around the state as they look to bounce back from a rough 2025 season. However, as Damon Jones reports, while things are slowly improving, margins will once again be tight this coming year.
2025 was another challenging year for Georgia farmers as input costs continue to rise, while commodity prices for a number of the state's staple crops continued to lag behind. And while production was up across the board, that was both a positive and negative when it comes to their bottom line.
The 2025 crop year was a really bountiful year in terms of production for a lot of the row crops. Here in Georgia, as well as in the rest of the United States. We're looking at a large production of corn, a large production of soybeans, large production of peanuts, particularly here in Georgia. We did see production down in terms of cotton because fewer planted acres, but yields were great. So even though there were lower acres in some of the commodities, yields were really great. And so we're still looking at pretty good production. And that's not really helping to change prices too much from where they are.
However, the outlook isn't all bad, as relief payments from both the Farm Bridge Assistance Program and the Big Beautiful Bill are expected to go out sometime later this year. That, combined with input costs stabilizing, should provide some optimism heading into 2026.
Some of the good things that I'm seeing from a cost standpoint is that interest rates should be a little bit lower next year. So we've seen some relief from that standpoint. Also, from a crop insurance standpoint, there's going to be higher subsidies on the premiums for growers. So crop insurance should be more affordable for producers next year. And we've also seen fuel prices remain down.
So with the new year now officially upon us, it's time for farmers to create a plan for the upcoming season. And that all starts with doing a complete inventory while also taking advantage of some of the many tools the University of Georgia Extension has to offer them.
Really, the biggest piece of advice for growers is that they have to know their cost of production. So there are enterprise budgets available that the University of Georgia puts together on the different commodities. They can use that as a template and guide and put in their numbers based on what production practices they plan to use, whether it's irrigation, conservation tillage, or the specific inputs that they plan to utilize on their operation, and go down to the penny and know what their cost of production is. Because once they know that, then they can figure out what their break-even price is and see if they can forward price some of the commodities that they're growing and try to lock in a profit.
Reporting from Tifton, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
Well, rest assured, American Farm Bureau is already focused on the year ahead, with a busy policy agenda expected to take shape at its upcoming annual convention. And while 2025 brought plenty of challenges for U.S. agriculture, Farm Bureau leaders say it wasn't without some important progress.
The first I think of is the One Big Beautiful Bill Act and the tax provisions that were in that. The One Big Beautiful Bill also had about 80% of the farm bill programs covered in that legislation. We had the adverse effect wage rate update, the Waters of the U.S. rule proposed by the administration to bring in that certainty and clarity to the Clean Water Act. Everybody's going through tough times, and yet these Farm Bureau members and leaders across the country do such a great job of telling their story and bringing those issues forward and making sure that policymakers know what's needed out here and how we're going to continue to succeed in agriculture.
As you know, agriculture is Georgia's #1 industry, yet under the Gold Dome, farmers themselves are in short supply. That's why when someone who knows the land, who's worked it, lived it, and raised a family on it steps into public service, their voice carries a little more weight. From Carroll County, John Holcomb introduces us to one of those voices, Representative David Huddleston of Georgia's 72nd District.
For David Huddleston, agriculture and advocating for agriculture has always been a passion for him, as he grew up working on the farm and today works full-time as a poultry, forage, and cattle producer. However, a few years back, Huddleston had the urge to take that passion to the next level by deciding to run for state office.
Back in 2017, I got to represent Georgia with the Cattlemen's Association on the YCC trip. That's the trip that starts out in Colorado and works across the country to Washington, D.C. So in 2017, that was the first time ever that I had the opportunity to be in Washington, D.C. and had a number of office visits set up with some congressmen, and I was getting a picture made on the U.S. Capitol steps. And you know, I said, if someone from Rootville, Georgia can be up here in D.C. and to be that voice, then somebody needs to be that voice back at home. So basically in 17, I put a 5-year goal in plan to work toward, you know, somehow, some way being that advocate at state level, say, or at a higher level.
Huddleston took that goal and ran with it, getting elected to the Georgia House in 2022, even getting the chance to serve as secretary for the House Ag Committee, which of course is no surprise, as the ag industry, especially its preservation, is a huge priority of his.
I think the biggest thing is one of the things I campaigned on is I talk about preservation of agriculture. And a lot of times you think of talking about preservation of agriculture as the land itself, which is very important. We've got to have the land to be able to, number one, provide food and fiber for the citizens of the state, if not the whole country. But one of my big passions is youth. And I think preservation of farmland is for the next generation. It's for the youth of today as our leaders of tomorrow. So any programs or any opportunities that I have to represent them, to see them succeed, you know, is probably one of the things that I set as priority.
For Huddleston, in the end, he believes that ag is something worth fighting for, as he says it's vital in being able to keep our nation secure and allow future generations like his son the chance to continue carrying on the legacy that is farming.
I think the importance of being involved in ag is like I said, it goes back to providing food and fiber, not only here locally, but to wherever. You hear our Commissioner of Ag, he talk about food security as national security. You know, so the passion there has been farming my entire life. My parents, my grandparents had been in farming, but I think it's just being out in the outdoors, working with your hands, knowing that you can make a difference. To see the sun come up first thing in the morning and everything come to life. But I think ultimately there, it's the passion part of it goes back to knowing that even my son that's helping me full-time on the farm it'll be here for tomorrow for him. You know, now being in Atlanta, it goes back to being that impact, the voice, the eyes, the ears of our districts, but not only of our districts, but the agricultural sector of the whole state.
Reporting in Rootville for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
When we come back, imagine being in your late 20s and running a farm of your own. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, for Bryson and Erica Lamboy, it's not a dream. It's daily life in Cave Spring, Georgia.
To Today we took the disease rating data. I was over there writing it down while the specialists were checking the leaves for scabs and also checking the performances of the fungicides on different terminus. Scab is really one of the major problems pecan growers face in Georgia, and we're trying to find the best way to control scabs and increase their yield. This job has actually given me the opportunity to connect with a lot of people, from stepping into pecan orchards for fungicide trials to participating directly in the cotton variety trials and calibrating growers' boom sprayer. It was really great experience.
Joshua was also able to attend some of the extension training. So we went to vegetable training, we went to drone training, we went to disease diagnostics training together. We learn together, we work together, and we work with our specialists and our colleagues in other part of the state, and again, serve our clients there better. This is an incredible opportunity to actually work closely with a specialist and also with growers to combine that and get hands-on practice on how to actually serve our clientele, which is our growers.
Being out there trying to help them solve problems has actually really given me a lot of excitement because I feel part of bigger things.
As anyone involved in agriculture knows, starting a farm is never easy. Starting one at a young age with little experience and in today's uncertain times, well, that is nearly impossible. Or is it? In Cave Spring, Georgia, young farmers Bryson and Erica Lamboy are showing that it's indeed very possible when faith, confidence, and sheer resolve meet hard work and a deep connection to Georgia Farm Bureau. They'll tell you the odds weren't in their favor. Too young. Too green, too much risk and not enough security. And yet, here in the quiet rolling hills of Cave Spring, Georgia, Bryson and Erica Lamboy are proving every doubter wrong with nothing more than self-confidence and belief. And yes, a herd of cattle to call their own.
It's hard work. It's before sunlight and after dark most days, and I enjoy it. So I'm never satisfied. That's one of my mottos.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't grow up on it, which I know that there are a majority of people, it seems like, they grew up on farms, and that's kind of how they get into it. But I would definitely say, like, if you didn't grow up on a farm, like, you can still get involved in agriculture, and it's not something to be, like, afraid of, or and there's a lot of people to help you. And if you meet somebody like Bryson that it kind of forces you to get into it, then it's a little easier.
This isn't just a story of building a farm. It's a story of building a life. A story that began on the campus of Berry College, where Bryson and Erica's passion for agriculture sparked a connection.
When I met Bryson in college, he had 9 cows. He might have made it seem like he had a lot more cows, or maybe I just thought he had a lot more cows, but he had 9 cows. And it's just been kind of like growing from that, and I was a senior in college when COVID, so it was like 2020. I was like, we have all these cows, and we've got steers, and people need beef, and so it's just kind of like a vertical integration that just made sense. Neither of us have never known anything else to like not be married to somebody that is your business partner, so I don't really know like what that's like. Sometimes I wonder what that's like because we've never experienced that, so I sometimes like, what do people our age really do? Because we're just always like thinking about stuff for the farm.
Both Bryson and Erica are active members of Georgia Farm Bureau and participate in the Young Farmers and Ranchers program. And Erica, well, she also works for the Floyd County Farm Bureau. Their involvement has strengthened not only their skills and knowledge, but also their network and commitment to supporting agriculture in Georgia. Together, they've built something rare. A thriving cattle operation run not by seasoned veterans with decades of experience, but by two 20-somethings determined to prove that passion, dedication, and partnership can make the impossible possible. And make no mistake, it hasn't been easy. Long days that stretched into longer nights, moments where the feed bill outweighed the paychecks, times when giving up wasn't just an option, it was knocking at the door. But here's the thing, not once did Bryson or Erica even entertain the idea of opening that door. Nope, it remained shut and locked, impenetrable, so to speak. That's because here on the farm, every day is a test of patience, skill, and teamwork. And for Erica and Bryson, it's not just about the work. It's about the commitment they've made to each other, their farm, and the Georgia Farm Bureau community that has supported them along the way.
Just keep your head down, keep working. I can see the end goal, and most people can't. So.
Were there moments when it seemed like giving up was the easier path?
No.
Why is that?
I don't give up.
I mean, that's something that you could think about, that like, oh, we could just like sell, I mean, especially with how cow prices are right now, like, oh, we could just sell this whole place and just, I don't know, just live a normal life, but that's not really that's not what we want to do.
And today, the proof is right here. Healthy cattle grazing under the Georgia sun, a business that's not just surviving, but thriving. And a love story that shows what happens when two people dream the same dream and are brave enough to chase it together. Because in the end, this isn't just about raising cattle. It's about raising hope. It's about showing the next generation that age is just a number, but passion and perseverance can move mountains. Erica and Bryson Lamboy, young farmers with an old soul's wisdom, and proof that sometimes the biggest harvest comes from the heart. So it might be a new season of the Farm Monitor. However, some things remain the same, including this reminder that if you missed any part of this episode or other stories on today's program, you can still see them in their entirety at our YouTube channel, the Farm Monitor. As we always say, plenty of stuff to choose from because the archive goes all the way back to 2009. And while you're there, just keep on clicking and like the Farm Monitor Facebook page. Send us some feedback as well. If you have a story idea or if you just want to leave us a comment or suggestion, send us a message either on Facebook or at the address on your screen. That is news@farm-monitor.com. 500,000 square feet, year-round growing, and cutting-edge farming technology. Up next, how Macon's Bright Farms greenhouse is offering an alternative way for us to get our greens.
Georgia frequently faces extended droughts that deeply affect farmers and communities like those found in Dawson County. When these dry spells persist, the water becomes scarce, impacting everything from the drinking water of families in the area to the crops and livestock who depend on regional streams and rainfall to grow and thrive. That's why the Russell Creek Reservoir is such an important project. It offers a long-term solution by securing a dependable water source for Dawson County's rural and agricultural water users well into the future. The reservoir will operate using a pump storage system, drawing water from the Etowah River during periods of high flow and storing it for later use. When the river runs low, the stored water will be released to maintain that steady supply to the county's water treatment plant. Once completed, the reservoir will hold up to 1.37 billion gallons of water. That's enough to support the water system for up to 240 days. The project also includes improvements to the existing flood control dam. By raising the dam, the reservoir's storage capacity will increase, providing stronger protection for the community now and for generations ahead.
Finally this week, true, farms are disappearing, but indoor growing is on the rise. Damon Jones takes us inside Macon's new Bright Farms greenhouse, where over 6 million pounds of leafy greens will be grown every year, rain or shine.
It's a blend of old school farming practices with new school technology here in Macon, where Bright Farms recently opened up their nearly 500,000 square foot greenhouse in order to provide fresh produce to the surrounding areas.
Here we package our leafy greens into ready-to-eat containers as well as ready-to-eat crunch kits that are perfect meal solutions for families.
While it might not look like traditional farming, the principles remain the same, as taking great care of the plant from beginning to end is essential in order to grow the highest quality product.
The whole process really starts from the seed and then comes all the way through to this mature, beautiful product that you see here. We really want to make sure that the babies, as we call them, our little sprouts, are given all the nutrients, the water, the sunlight, and everything that they need to thrive. And happy plants result in really fresh, delicious, crunchy products. And so that's what we're really here to do, is to really nurture those plants to be the best that they can.
Thanks to the controlled environment, that can be done throughout the year, no matter what Mother Nature has to offer. One of the major reasons for choosing Macon as the home for its newest greenhouse is its proximity to major markets around the Southeast, cutting down on the amount of time it takes getting their product from its farm to the shelves.
Here at Bright Farms, we're growing just a couple of hours, just a couple of minutes down the road before it gets to your retailer. And so those leaves arrive to your grocery stores in as little as 24 hours after they were packaged. And so therefore the consumer, you, actually get the benefit of that shelf life in your fridge so that you have really fresh, long-lasting greens. Many of us, especially on the East Coast, especially here in Atlanta, have probably experienced going to the grocery store, you buy that bag of salad, and by the time you get it home, it feels like it's already wilted. And the reason for that is because it has already spent 7 to 10 days on a truck.
And that is the best way to showcase a product that everyone at this facility takes great pride in producing.
Having oversight over the entire process from seed all the way to harvesting allows us to really control the quality of our products. Every single Bright Farmer that you see here is dedicated to quality, safe produce coming from Bright Farms, and that's really our mission every single day.
Reporting from Macon, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
Again, year 60 of the Farm Monitor, and so many changes since day one, including the advent of social media. With that in mind, for all the latest ag news regarding food, recipes, and what's happening on Georgia farms, be sure you check out all of our social media platforms, including farm-monitor.com.
Yes, the website, Facebook, Instagram, a podcast. We've got you covered. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on the Farm Monitor. Stay safe and have a great week.